Alright, let's see if this is working. Alright, hello everyone. I don't know how many people are going to be watching. But yeah, we have the Typhoon Gaemi, which is nearly making landfall. Right around Xinchen in mainland Taiwan, just south of Ziulin, as a powerful mid-range Category 4. Yeah, and it should make landfall within the next 57 minutes. Let me actually double check that. Yeah, it should. I don't know if you all have noticed this, but it's actually moved a little bit more south. It's taking a huge wobble down to the south. I'm going to pull up the Taiwan radar on it. Alright, let's see if I can just pull up the Taiwan domain. Alright, 3 hours. Loop it. Oh yeah, take a look at that wobble to the south. That doesn't show it. Wish I could download it. That'd be nice. Maybe I can? No. Alright. Anyways, though, of course, it tried to undergo an eyewall replacement cycle, it looks like. I don't know what happened to it. Okay, looks like it tried to do a merger. But yeah, it's nearing landfall on the actual radar sites. Of course, as you get closer and closer to land, the eye starts falling apart, especially on satellite. It doesn't look too good. Alright, but yeah, the worst town that should be affected by it is going to be Xincheng. As you all have noticed, it's been moving more and more to the south, so it should make landfall just south of there, which, if it was right in this area, it would be delivering the worst storm surge into it. Also, it's like a bay, so that's really not good for there. Just rushing water inland. I don't know if any model predicted its southward shift, so it's hard to kind of show it. Let's see if this shows it. No, that still has it more north. Yeah, same there. Don't think a single model actually showed it pulling this off. Anyway, so the eye temperature is minus 62 Celsius, so it's pretty cold right now, and it's continuing to warm. Let's see if I can get a good satellite loop of it. And actually, let's take a look at tropical tidbits. Oops, wrong thing. There's its eye goes, continuing to warm and warm. But yeah, it definitely has taken a southward shift. Alright, let's get this loop running. And that doesn't really show it. Yeah, no, this will. I'm gonna tweet it. Alright, post it. Alright, so yeah, it's basically that Typhoon Gaemi, which is named Carina in the Philippines, is making a significant southward jog towards the town of Xincheng. Alright. So let's see, when was the latest radar frame? Does this even show it? Alright, yeah, so this was 1710. So this was 20 minutes ago. If I go an hour before then, it was over here. So yeah, definitely within the next hour it should make landfall, unless it makes another wobble to help stall it. Keep in mind, all it's doing right now is weakening, so the longer it takes for landfall, the better. But yeah, it should make landfall within the next 50 minutes or so. The eye wall is just coming on shore on the west coast. Alright, now this should also show it, yeah. This is the whole eye wall right now. There's the eye. It's a really thick eye wall, especially on the eastern side. Definitely a lot stronger than before. In my opinion, from what I've seen, it should be around 125 knots, 145 miles per hour. Let me see if there's any other discussion on it. Yeah, so pressure around 923 millibars as well, so the pressure is pretty low. I do believe there was like a 940 pressure observation somewhere along the coast. Alright, let's take a look if there's any video cameras. Here's one in Julin. Nope, okay, it crashed. This one was last up 2 hours ago. Alright. It'd be very helpful to know where this is. Was this it? Yeah, this is it right here. So, I mean, it's definitely increasing. This area would be the one, though, this is the one that should be retreating away, so it shouldn't really be getting too much storm surge at all. Maybe up to a meter, but that's about it. But you can see the winds blowing so hard out to sea. And yeah, that's mainly because the flow of wind is now pushing offshore in that area. Let's see if there's any other cameras. A lot of them appear to be offline. Yeah, it doesn't really have much of an eye on infrared anymore. I mean, I could still see it here. There's a clear, warm spot. Let's go back to eyes says minus 59 Celsius. I don't believe that at all. So at this point, I don't believe it has an eye on at least infrared. Let me see how accurate this is. No, that's not really accurate. Oh, come on. Yep, so here's the progression over the past hour. Actually, looks like it's cleared its eye out a bit. Alright, let's take a look at the distance. So it traveled about 11 miles in the past hour or so. Maybe a little bit less in time, less than an hour. So it should try and make landfall within the next hour. I feel like that's a reasonable assumption. Anyways, let's talk about rain threats. Where's the highest rainfall supposed to be? Stuff like that. Jeez, okay. What is this for? Who made this one? This looks like Japan's model run. Yeah, some areas could receive up to... This one shows 80 inches of rain, which is just absolutely insane. This is a high resolution model. I don't know if I can show it here. There we go. So, Baalia could get upwards of 72 inches of rain. There's a lot of them. I mean, 72 inches, that's a lot in itself. But, anything above 20 inches is pretty extreme. So the severity here is basically labeled by the color. The purples and blacks and whites are extremely rare with tropical cyclones. It's mainly, though, just due to the mountainous terrain. Let's pull up another one right here. This one shows it better, I think, because it actually shows it moving inland into China as well. That's going to be another thing it's going to do, of course, after it passes Taiwan. Hopefully that shreds apart the eye wall, or the whole entire core of it. It doesn't have to make it pretty far across. I mean, it's not a Taiwan isn't Taiwan's only around 75 miles across, so that's about the size of the system-ish right now. The system size, at least its whole CDO stuff, is around 160 miles. And also here you can see now that the eye wall is just about to approach shore, just to the east of Xingchen and Hulilian. Let me pull up my phone. And notice that there were a bit of storm chasers preparing to chase it, all the way up in, where is it? I forget what it's called. Herping. Yeah, that area. Thankfully, is not getting the worst of it. I think, like, for them at least. But now it's shifted a lot more south. But yeah, that eye looks like it's clearing out. Yeah, here's the news frame. This was before. It's hard to tell. I'll send it. Alright. So, I mean, now it's mostly covering the entirety of Taiwan. I mean, the whole entire storm's influence definitely is. If I pull up satellite, you'll see there all of it is. Keep in mind, this satellite wasn't showing all of this part at the top. This is the whole entire main core of it. Um, and then this right here is where all your typhoon force winds are occurring. And then your Cat 4 winds are likely occurring right up here in the northeast and northern side. I mean, major typhoon winds likely are all occurring right along this little ring. And it's just about to start occurring on Taiwan pretty soon. Right, let's see how far it's traveled within the past hour. It slowed down a bit, I believe. So let's go to 520. It says it's 530. Oh wow, 540. So yeah, now it's roughly about the same latitude, just south of Xinjiang. May not actually make it towards Hualien. If it just continues that southward track, I'm waiting on it to try and make a curve back to the north. It shouldn't be moving south. This has really surprised almost all of us at this point. It should not have done this. Yeah, here's the cone. It was supposed to make landfall in near Taipei, but now it's made a more shift towards the south. That does have long-term implications on where it does make landfall in mainland China, which we'll likely do another stream then, maybe near Quanzhou. Pretty hard to tell though. Alright, I don't honestly think we're 35 minutes away from landfall. I'm probably going to put that up to 90 minutes, honestly. Let me fix that. But yeah, it should make landfall within the next 90 minutes, I believe. I might have jumped the gun a bit. Keep in mind, I just woke up recently. I haven't had a lot of time to take a look at the storm. Now I do. Alright, but yeah, the worst of it is about to start for these places. At least the western part of the eye wall. Of course, the worst is going to be the eastern side. You'll notice how thick the reds are all along this ring right here. Yeah, hopefully the eye can quickly just dissipate our lands and that the core just diminishes. It'll be interesting to see though. Let's see how large that eye is. It's roughly around 7 miles wide. That's not very large at all. And then let's take a look at how far away it is from land. It's around 10 miles away from land. 12, 13. So yeah, definitely within the next 90 minutes it should be making a landfall. But yeah, after it does, it should weaken, of course, and make landfall in China, probably as a typhoon. Let's actually take a look at its forecast. Keep in mind, this has it more north of where it actually made landfall. This model. It does show it weakening, of course, just falling apart when it makes its China landfall, but it will be a broader system. More impacts. Let's take a look at the wind threat. Not as much. They don't want it as a typhoon, but definitely low pressure. Like it has 950s millibar. The HWRF wanted it to go more north, so it did not want it to make a typhoon landfall. Or it did want it to make a typhoon landfall. Oh yeah, something I wanted to point out is you'll notice that the mountains have the highest amount of wind. That's just because the higher up you go, the more wind you get. That's why, it does say 145 miles per hour, but Of course, if you're on the mountains, that could be 160. You can get, a 30% increase. Yeah, landfall seems to be more sooner, someone said. I don't think within the next 90 minutes, or I think maybe within the next 75 minutes or something like that. It's hard to tell at this point because it is making a southward jog. It's not going directly towards the west, so another wobble could prolong the time. So, I mean, this kind of movement does not typically happen. This wasn't forecasted at all for it to make this wobble. It's mainly just due to the eyewall replacement cycle is trying to undergo. Alright, now that's not working. Someone said try this site. If you send in a website link, it won't show. You'll have to tell me what it is. Like, just tell me it without the .com or whatever. It doesn't appear that any of these live streams have a lot of people watching them. Oh, Real Earth. Yeah, Real Earth is just for infrared, really, and all that stuff, so I mean, it's not really that great. I have Depaya, so this helps quite a bit. And seeing the eye temperature. I forget it's about to be night for them pretty soon. I'm hoping that everyone's hunkered down. Oh, that's wrong right here. Let's see if the icon model got it right. Yeah, it looks like that the icon model got it more correct. Wait, where is it making landfall? We go back to satellite. Radar. Oh geez, it's all the way down here. Yeah, you see how far south that is? What the cone was showing? Oh, is that a prediction? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's made a significant wobble to the south. That wasn't expected at all. It should be all the way up here. Oh, my bad. All the way up here. Or at the very least down here. So, I mean, it's definitely made a very southward jog. Of course, it should try and correct itself. I was honestly pretty surprised to see that southward jog. It shouldn't really have done that. The satellite shows it pretty clear as well. Oh, my bad. You can see that eye being on the correct path and then just making a turn to the south. More so like this. Yeah, now to me it does look like it's going to make landfall soon, though. Yep, here's the latest frame. You can see the eye wall now starting to impact uh, Melun. I don't know how to pronounce it. The eye wall starting to impact there already. It's almost had a it almost has a full ring of reds. I don't think it's strengthening though. It is weakening in my opinion. Around 145 miles per hour at this point. It should probably either make landfall at that intensity or be around 140 miles per hour at landfall. The eye on radar though has seemed to clear out a bit. I don't know how accurate that is. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Eh, I mean, it was more clear before. It's filled in. Maybe this was just part of the eye wall replacement cycle. Hard to tell. I just don't see it being really strong right now in terms of intensifying. Oh yeah, the mountains could have pushed it south. Let's take a look at that. I don't know though. There are a lot of mountains down here. I'm guessing it's just the steering that it's taken right here. Just kind of does a little loop. That's probably why. But I mean, I do still think it was also partially due to the eye wall replacement cycle, causing it to do a little wobble. But yeah, the people up here, the storm chasers up here, have completely missed it. They were supposed to get a direct collision course with it, but it's curved to the south. That was an insane miss. Here's satellite throughout the last 2 hours. You can see that jog to the south. There was a lightning strike briefly. Ish. Oh, there's the eye. It's hard to tell if it's going to be warming or not. Let's go here. No, nah, it's not warming at all. It's mainly due to the mountains, though, why it's weakening. Also, notice this huge band over to the west of the storm now, are these thunderstorms developing right along here. Thankfully, most of these are not over land, but there are some strong thunderstorms occurring on land right now. Let's take a look at those. Over here. Yep, strong bands occurring. This quickly organized within the last hour or so. Having a lot more lightning activity. Of course, this is very monsoonal. If you'll notice, the entire south part of it is the largest side of it right now. It's causing heavy rainfall for the northern Philippines. And now it's moving in, or getting close to making landfall pretty soon. What are you using right now? This is windy.com. This is Dapaya. This is Tropical Tidbits. This is Zoom Earth. So I'm using 4 different websites. Now let me refresh this, see if there's any. I see 84 people watching one stream. 87 now. Okay, this better be good then. Oh dang, okay. Yeah, this is pretty insane. Take a look at it 2 hours ago. Things have drastically changed. I don't know why there's so many people here. Jeez, okay. Why are there so many people? I mean, I don't think that these are going to be storm chasers. Yeah, actually, maybe they are storm chasers. And take a look at the wind picking up. Oh, wow. Take a look at the waves getting closer and closer. Oh, and it also knocked down some of these, it seems like. No, it's always been knocked down, looks like. Yeah. Now let's take a look at what it looks like now. Very hard to see much. No audio with it, but here I'm going to use Google Translate real quick to just figure out where this is. Oh, that's Hualien County. So that's the area that's supposed to get some of the worst of it. I believe so, yep. There's the radar. Let me go back. As I did see this map. Alright, it's hard to tell exactly where the camera's located. Yeah, if I go to satellite, it's somewhere along here, though. Alright, cameras? Are these live at all, or no? No, okay. That would have been helpful, though. And it actually looks like it's around over here. It could be, but yeah. They are currently getting the worst of it. Right now, they're right along here. They are in the eye wall. Alright, someone sent a link here. This is probably where it's located. Alright, here it is. Yep. So they are going to be getting quite a bit of storm surge. It's hard to see the water from how strong the wind is. I'm glad that this is actually a moving camera right now. It's actually, doing stuff. You can see all the rain blowing around. But yeah, it's hard to see the water. Of course, before it was approaching it. Let's take a look at when it picked up, because not that long ago it was fine mostly. See, there's the water. Also, keep in mind the camera is wet, so some things may be a bit blurry. Okay. Yeah, so since they are right around here-ish, it's actually, no, they aren't in the worst of it just yet. That's kind of surprising. They are just getting into the outer eye wall, which means it's only going to get worse from here, and they're going to get some of the worst storm surge. I do believe they're going to get the worst storm surge out of the whole storm, just from where it's tracking. Anyways, it should make landfall within the next 75 minutes. It's just continuously moving south. It slowed down a bit. I mean, the structure of it looks more organized. Just that the eye on satellite cannot warm at all just because of the mountains. I mean, this is likely still a category 4 powerful one at that. Let's take a look at visible. And there comes night pretty soon. And you can definitely see the thunderstorms bubbling off in a band. Oh, pretty powerful. Alright, so yeah, the eye wall is continuing to approach the camera. Oh, whoa, there it is. There's the water. Let's take a look at it. Where'd it go? Yep, there it is. Wow, okay. So it is pushing water next to that building, which, as you know, it's all the way up here. So it's showing that water is rushing into this little area right now. It's a different camera. Yeah, you can see the water piling up on the right. And it's definitely, you can just see it destroyed one of the barricades right over here. Just pushed it inland. Alright, let's take a look at radar. Again, it does kind of look like the ice cleared out a bit recently. Not as much as before, though. I don't think it's strengthened at all. Yeah, I don't really see much strengthening. I feel like it's just on a weakening course right now. Maybe it's, if it stalls long enough, it could try and reorganize, but it's right next to shore, so I don't think so. Satellite will never look better than this, just from how close it is to land. Alright, something just happened with the camera. I thought that was lightning for a moment. Yeah, it's only getting worse for that area. Almost this walkway over here is the one seen right along here. So this is elevated. Hopefully not many people are down here. I remember there are a lot of storm chasers over here. Alright, now it's cleared up a little bit. So it's not going to be like that for long. Here, I'm going to make it easier to see. That should have helped. I mean, you can kind of see where the water is in the distance right here. And of course, since it's a walkway, it's kind of down here-ish. Oh, that's getting a little bit closer. You can just see all the debris down here that was pushed. Also, something to notice, you'll notice that the wind's blowing this way. And that's mainly because where the eye wall is located. Moving this way. It's not moving directly on shore, it's kind of at an angle. If it were to move directly west, they'd get the worst of it. Let's see if anywhere else is getting anything big. Of course, that's the most popular. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, okay. This caused some damage. Let's go back in time a bit. Alright, so this got damaged. Okay, so that got... Whoa, whoa. Okay, that just started running. Let's go back. I'm trying to see exactly when that got destroyed. Oh, jeez. Wow, okay, this was the powerful gust. Oh, wow. Knocking everything down. Alright, let's take a look at where this is. Right, yep, same kind of thing. Along the beach. Oh, and that's even closer. Okay. So this area might even get it worse. Alright, let's see any other cameras. This one is also pretty popular. Let's see why. Okay, this is a dam, but has anything really happened? Huh. Oh, it's just rising. That's not good. I don't know what's supposed to happen. I'll take a look. Like, let's say it overflows. Yeah, not much is supposed to occur, I don't think. Thankfully, where's this located at? That's all the way on the northern side, so yeah. This is mainly the rainfall threat. So yeah, we'll occasionally look at that, see how high it's gotten. Because, I mean, it should eventually overflow. Let's see, so it's making a curve shape. And this looks like a downhill area, so this would have to be over here, I think. I honestly don't know, this is kind of complicated. Let's take a look at this. So this is a flood diversion, that's really nice. So, I mean, it does look like if it does overflow, it will move down here. I don't know where this takes it, though. I guess we'll see that overflow pretty soon. I mean, it's definitely gone up within the past hour. Here was an hour ago. And then here was 2 hours ago. 3 hours ago. So yeah, definitely a difference. This one has quite a bit of people watching. Oh dang, okay, this is a bridge. Let's see where this is located. Alright, so this is to the south of the storm. Alright, it's facing west. Ish, so that means the winds are blowing this way. Over there. Which, I mean, it doesn't really look like it. Well, yeah, they're facing west. Here's the wind moving that way. Well, there's a car driving on it. You should not be doing this in these kind of conditions. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing during this, why they're driving. Oh, geez, okay, that's shaking, alright. We're in some areas where it's clearer, the camera, not a lot. Anyways, though, a landfall should occur within the next hour or so. It's just so close. Let me get ready to update this. There we go. I think that looks about right. Yep. Alright, so distance until landfall. It's continued to move south. That's around 8 miles away from land. Around 10 miles from where it may make landfall. It's continuing to move more and more to the south, so this has been pretty surprising. Let's go back to this. So as you know, or as you can see here, the eye wall is a lot thinner on this side. And now that's mainly just due to the fact that they're so close to land. And now that's why, especially if you look at this orangish color, same thing. It just stops right at land. Not able to penetrate that much, but right along the beach, that's where it's the worst. Alright, here's the latest frame. Of course, that's a little bit of a glitch. The eye does not really look like that. It seems like one frame updated, but the others haven't, so if I fix that a bit. Yeah, it's moved right around here, so it's still moving south. I mean southwest-ish. That really should not be happening. Wish they could just get it over with, but I mean it's just prolonging it into the night, which is really not good. I think that's power flickering, I don't know. I don't think those are supposed to be flashing. And that erratically. Maybe I'm wrong. Of course, this is still damaged. So, I mean, this started getting bad. Oh, hey, Riley.
What's up?
Hello. So, what are your thoughts on the
Am I the
storm
only
right now?
one?
Here, I'll share my screen.
All right, so I've got about, and then I've got to go.
How long?
I got to go to work about 10 minutes, and then I got to
Oh,
go to work. It
perfect.
looks like it's literally right on the coastline.
And it's weakening,
You
right?
know, there are significant mountains. Oh, for sure, there is
Yep.
significant mountains.
Yes. Why has it made that southward jog?
Well, when storms are near Taiwan, they can act pretty weird. Sometimes they'll get pulled towards the island, deflected away, pulled north or pulled south. Some weird things can sort of happen. So I think what you're seeing here is you're seeing it get pulled south, just like the way that the mountains and stuff are. It can do some weird things sometimes. It's really not known too well why it happens, but it has been observed over the last several decades how
Yeah.
Taiwan can be pretty weird.
It was supposed to make landfall like 20, 30 miles to the north, and now it's just continuing to move more and more south. I mean, the cone, it's the center of it right now is very far away from the cone. A rough idea. No, that's not exactly where it is. But yeah, I mean, it's just moved more and more to the south. Anyways, how strong do you think it is?
Now it's probably around 120 to 125 knots,
Yep. And what pressure?
928 to 932.
Yep. Continuing weakening. What intensity do you think it will make landfall at?
115 knots.
Yeah, so continue to weaken.
Yep.
And how long until it makes landfall, do you think?
Well, it's hard to say because it should have already made landfall and it's continuing to just jog south and south and south.
Yeah,
But
it's
I would
not
say it's
even,
got
it's
to be within the
continuing to
next
move
couple.
more and more south. It's not even making a jog back to the west.
It's almost like it's just parallel on the coast.
Yeah, I mean, that is so weird. I would have never expected that just for it to keep moving this way ish. I mean, it should
Well, the
curve back to
longer
the
it,
west, right?
eventually it will, and it'll hit the island. And when it does, you'll see you'll see the eye wall collapse like immediately. It'll be like a Pacific storm hitting Mexico.
Yep.
It'll be like Otis.
Thankfully, the longer it is away from land, the more it'll weaken.
Uh huh.
And so, I mean, it's not like this thing is strengthening at all, so it's better that it takes a while to make landfall. Yeah, I mean, just the fact though that skirting the coast, its eye wall is a bit overland, right at the shore. Of course, I have noticed a little bit of surge going inland from like it's pushed about from here to roughly around here sometimes, or actually no, like a little bit further ish over here. So I mean, I have noticed a bit of an increase in how high the water's been getting. How much storm surge do you think these areas will get?
Well, there's not really a lot of surge because the way Taiwan's terrain is, as well as very deep water just offshore.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully for them, it's not a recipe to produce a lot of surge. But
Yeah.
right at the immediate coast, there's definitely some to be expected.
Yep. Especially wherever the eye wall's blowing onshore. Like right now, it's right around here-ish. I mean, this little bay area right here has been getting a lot of strong winds. That's what this is at right now, this area. Now there's the water getting closer once again.
When it hits Taiwan, it's going to go from like 115 knots to like 70 knots.
Yep, thankfully it should weaken it quickly. What intensity do you think it will be when it makes landfall in China? Like, how strong do you think it will be when it makes landfall in China?
Probably a low end Cat 1 to a mid Cat 1
Oh, okay.
because it'll probably weaken to a low end Cat 2 or a high end Cat 1 over China. And
Mm-hmm.
then it'll emerge over the Taiwan Strait. Storms usually do not reorganize over the Taiwan Strait because they're so destroyed over Taiwan.
Oh, yeah.
In
But you
fact, they
still
usually
think it will be
continue to
a
weaken
typhoon by
just
the
at a
time it
slower rate.
passes. By the time it passes Taiwan.
It should still be. It should still be a typhoon.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the longer it stalls actually over
We
Taiwan, the
have
more it will
now,
weaken.
but if but right, but I think that you'll still see a typhoon. The
Mm-hmm.
winds will be very far away from the center,
Yep.
but it'll be a surge maker.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now you see this is another thing too with this thing jogging like this.
Mm-hmm.
This has huge implications. Huge.
How so?
Not only for well, think about it. It's way south of the forecast cone.
Yep.
It's way south of the area that has been preparing for this storm. It's way south of the area that was ready for this storm.
Yes.
All that. So they're not expecting this, and they're getting this. And the area that is expecting this isn't getting this.
Yep.
So they're, and they don't know that. I mean, maybe some people do, but they're just looking at it like, oh, they were wrong about where it was going to hit.
Yep.
Which I mean, they are, but it's like the interaction that Taiwan does with storms. You can't really predict
Yeah,
that.
you
So
can't predict
it,
this.
it going it going way south is just something that was not predicted. So
Yep.
there's going to be people there that are getting hit that were not expected to get hit. And not to mention the storm chasers that went and chased this thing did it for nothing.
Yeah, I saw they're all the way up
No.
in. Let me see. They're all the way up over here, right here. That's where they're all located.
Well, guess what?
And they missed it.
They got screwed over.
Yep. I mean, that was exactly where it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a
They
sun
would have
jog.
probably got.
They got Typhoon Gust, I saw, but that's about it. Um,
I got to go in about
all
five
right.
minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it should they should have gotten the worst of it already in terms of winds, or they should be at the worst of it, just because it's continuing to move farther and farther away from that area. Still, they're still getting flooding. It shows. Yep. Yeah, I mean, where do you think this will make landfall?
Like I said, it's hard to tell after what it's been doing, but it looks like somewhere around Shulin or Jigri.
All right. So I mean, it should start turning more west, right? Right,
Yeah,
pretty
that right
soon.
there is about what should happen. But like I would say, how do we know? It's really to hard to say here because
Like,
it's
what
already not
happens
supposed
if
to
it
be.
continues paralleling the coast? Could it, like, make a whole entire U-turn?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
storms have
God.
done that.
That'd be crazy.
Well, it's going to weaken because it's so close to the coast,
Yeah.
where the eventual landfall would be weaker, but the storm is not still not weakening as fast as it would if it was over land because,
Yep.
not over land, but it's that close to that significant mountain. There's just no way that it's not going to weaken.
Thankfully, I mean, of course, on infrared it looks atrocious. Thankfully.
It does, and it never really looked that impressive on
Yep.
IR its whole lifespan. But I will say during the peak when we had those readouts that supported Super Typhoon,
Hmm.
maybe Cat 5, I think people saying like 150 knots is crazy. But if you want to make an argument that it's a low end Cat 5,
I think it was
you can.
135 knots at peak.
Yeah, I went 130. 130, 135, 140 is fine.
Yeah.
Um, when we had those readouts, we did have a very solid intercore structure and a very solid CDO. The eye just was not really able to clear as much as you expect for a storm of that
Exactly.
intensity. But if you really think about it, you can make sense of it.
Yep.
But now, obviously, we've lost a lot of intensity. And as we've seen in the past of recon, storms don't weaken as fast as it looks like they weaken,
Yeah.
but it definitely weakened some.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this is still a mid-range Cat 4 at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, I mean, its appearance looks like a Cat 3. Alright.
Well, I got to go, Chase. I got to get
Yep.
ready.
Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Alright, I'll see you later.
All right. Bye.
It's, yeah. Someone said 5 to 10 feet of storm surge. Yeah, I'm gonna likely make an animation on the storm on Sunday. This coming Sunday. Let's see, what day is it actually? Alright, it's Wednesday. Let's take a look at that forecast cone. So right now it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I mean, it should be dead before too long, so I mean, it should die out before Sunday, so I can definitely rush an animation on it. Keep in mind, though, just on how far south the system has gone, this has just been insane in terms of the typhoon force winds going somewhere it's not supposed to. Yeah, just this jog to the south has been so crazy. Right down here. Yeah, I mean, the storm surge, though, right along here is where it'd be the worst. Let's take a look at some of the live Oh, God. This is just starting to overflow now. Let's go to the point where it did start overflowing. Yep, there it comes. And if we go over to now, this is insane, though. Keep in mind, this is only getting higher and higher. Right now, it's rushing more water than is leaving. Of course, it's a very good thing that they have this. So, just push the water down here. Still pretty crazy, though. Let's take a look at the other cameras. Of course, winds are strong. That's no surprise. Nothing too big occurring here. Nothing too bad over here. And this storm has been so frustrating, though. We thought it was going to make landfall pretty soon, but it's not. It's continuing to dip more and more to the south. Is that near Zulian? Where's that? Oh, over here? No, no. It won't. I mean, not over here. It's gone more south. Keep in mind, this storm just continues to move more and more to the south. Has made a little bit jog more and more to this, just going due south almost. It's paralleling the coastline. Yeah, I mean, like a whole entire U-turn is not impossible for it to try and wobble back. Honestly, there's a wide variety of possibilities on what this storm could do. This is just so shocking. Just taking a look at some flooding. Alright. This is just so insane. Was not expecting any of this to occur. This should not have occurred. But I mean, it's just Taiwan's landscape. I think it was you who mentioned the mountains, right? Man, this still has a solid core to it. Okay, just waiting on this newest radar frame to update. Of course, this is not what it actually looks like right now. It's not split down the middle. Just that one radar is updating quicker than the other. Man, okay, more and more water rushing down. Yeah, keep in mind night's about to occur for them. Is this area? Oh geez, yeah, this area is getting more and more bad conditions right now. Let's take a look at where it is right now compared to this area. I think the camera's over there. I double check. Yep, the camera's right around here. So yeah, they're getting the worst of it. Let's take a look. Yeah, so this area right now is getting the worst winds. Yeah, you can see just the rain climbing up the wall. Thankfully, there's not much over there. I mean, it actually leads over to a river, but that's about it. Not a beach or anything. The camera is facing this way, roughly this way-ish. Winds are blowing this way. You can clearly see it over here. The winds are blowing that way-ish. Oops, something is falling here. Like some sort of leaf or something. I don't think that's a fish. I don't know what that'd be. Keep in mind there's a big pool at the bottom that's all filling up too. I just don't know how well this is going to be able to hold. Like hold all the water. I see some car over there. Yeah, just to be clear, you should not be driving through this. I'm just waiting on this thing to go down all the way. I mean, I could see some ripples over here, showing that this area is higher. I mean, this is only going to keep filling and filling up. Yep, there it starts going. There's another thing. Okay, this is just all water over here. Wow, okay, yeah, that water is continuing to move faster and faster. Honestly, compared to what it looked like a couple minutes ago. Seeing these left and these right areas just filling up constantly with water. Here, if I actually go back 15 minutes or 10 minutes ago, yeah, notice the difference. So let's take a look at this. Not that bad. Not that bad. There. Oh, yeah, this is the worst. Yeah, once again, you should not be driving through this. I don't get why people are doing that. Alright, so it appears that water's blowing directly at the camera now-ish. Alright, let's see if there's any other popular live streams other than that. Yeah, that's what that one normally looks like. There's this one. Oh wow, okay. Where's this? Keep in mind, this is more of the flooding rather than the Alright, where's this going to? Alright, so this is more north. Yeah, you can just see how quick the water's moving, filling up. Thankfully, it shouldn't be that bad for these areas. They're elevated, thankfully. Let's take a look at the difference between now and an hour ago. Actually, it looked like they had more water an hour ago. Let's go 2 hours ago. Now, 2 hours ago, it was less. 3 hours ago, less. Oh, wow, okay, so yeah, it's definitely climbed. 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago. Let's go all the way back to like 12 hours ago ish. You see how low that is? There wasn't a lot. And the water wasn't moving that quickly. Now, if we go over to now, yeah, big difference. See, I'm not buying the 30 minutes until landfall. Just my personal thoughts on it. Just taking so dang long to actually make landfall right now. It's going due south. So, I mean, it's so close to the coast. Just shocked on how long it's taking. I know that even though the official forecast doesn't even have it making landfall until this is where it should be, its actual position is a lot closer to land, but a lot more south. Once again, keep in mind, this is where it was. They did a good job right around here-ish on where it was going. It was following the track, then it started curving more due west, and then more southwest, and then south-southwest. And now it's just going south. You see that turn? It's more like this-ish. And there it goes. Alright, let's go back to see how far away it is from landfall. First off, let me see where the eye is. Hey, it's moved around 11 or 10 miles within the past hour. Anyways, it's around 6 miles away from the coast. The eye wall is already on land, right along the beach. I don't know where it's going to make landfall if it doesn't within the next hour. At this point, I'm going to up that back up again to an hour-ish. That's right, it's so hard telling when it's supposed to make its landfall. It's taking way too long. Thankfully, though, the positive on this is it's weakening it. The negative is it's just dumping a lot of heavy rainfall. All of this area is just getting more rainfall than it should. Alright, let's refresh this. News frame, yeah, not really clearing out at all. I mean, yeah, you can see the southward jog. It still looks like it's not going due south just yet. I'm gonna slow it down a bit. Yeah, I actually has cleared out a bit more-ish. Oh, that's right. It's more so what it's looking like. I mean, yeah, it has curved more and more to the south. Maybe it'll make landfall this way-ish. Oops, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, down that way. Alright. Of course, I mean, a lot of these areas could get upwards of 1,500 millimeters of rainfall. Like a meter and a half of rain. That's just insane. Alright, let's take a look at satellite now. Oh, is it already night? Can't believe how fast time goes by. Yep, there it is. There's the nights right now. Oh my god. Okay. Look at that increase now. When did it even get that bad? Now look at how much water's flowing. And now you don't see like any ripples at all. I mean, you can see the wind right now here. But yeah, look at the water, how fast it's flowing now. Oh, something else broke maybe? Down here, let me skip back like 10-ish minutes. Yeah, something else broke, it looked like. Or maybe. No, it's looked like it's been there the whole time. Yeah, this thing right here. And this is getting crazy scary right now up here. Okay, so I know what I'm doing right now. I'm facing this way. Ish, and it's moving this way. I believe so, at least. Yep, it's moving north. Pretty weird. I didn't realize, but yeah. So it's coming from over here, but yeah, this thing right here has just been increasing and increasing. Let's see if I can take a look at it. I can kind of see it. I thought there was a photo right here. Oh my god, okay, let me go back. Oh, here's something. Yep, there's the water, so it's just all a bunch of rocks. Oh, this might be good. Yep, there's that. There's that little mound. I think so. Yep. Let's see, there's a bridge. Alright, I can't really see that. I can't see much over here, but yeah, I mean, that's nearly. I think that. What is that over there? Let me just double check. Oh, that's just a mound. I don't think that's a hole. I mean, okay, that's just continuing to rise and rise. Wow, so I mean, it's got a full core now. On radar, you can see the full ring, solid ring at that. Of course, this is not strengthening by any means. I mean, it's falling apart. Here's the news frame. You can see the full core around it. Its eye is not that clear at all by any means. I mean, you can see the eye on here, but it's just not that obvious. I mean, it's just not completely empty. And of course, satellite looks horrible. You can see that little eye right here, but that doesn't make much of a difference compared to if you were right along here. Still be incredibly cloudy if you looked up. Man, this is just insane though. Oh, my bad. I mean, you can clearly see the movement this way. Also over here though, you can see the amount of thunderstorms that are bubbling up along this one band. Pretty cool. I mean, pretty insane though. Alright, we can still see stuff thanks to those lights. It doesn't seem like power's out completely. Wow, alright. A lot more water. And so all the way up here, they've already faced the worst of it. Don't think it's going to get any worse for them. I remember I said I thought that they were going to get the worst storm surge, but apparently not. Thankfully, it's heading over here actually because this area is very mountainous by the coast. Not a lot of towns at all. There's this, but that's incredibly small. And there shouldn't be much storm surge. That's a really good thing. And you can see just how crazy this situation is because there's a gap forming right here of not a lot of rain. Very close to the center of the storm. And it's like it's clearly falling apart, kind of just slowly though. Also, something to note is you can see how thin this eye wall is right along here compared to over here or over here, just because of how close it is to the coast. The coast is just causing the eye wall to stop. You can see the orange color, for example, stopping just barely inland, whereas it extends out pretty far in other directions. I mean, that's likely the same case for the hurricane force winds. Yeah, I know it says minus 51 Celsius high, but that's not correct. Its high would be like around minus 70-ish. It's barely even noticeable on infrared. You can kind of see it right here. And that's not much difference from the cloud surrounding it at all. If I pull up, for example, a satellite estimating tool, Dvorak, go back over here. Should be almost the same color, yeah. They're the same color there, so I mean you can't really tell the difference for an eye at all. You can argue that maybe there's a small hint of an eye there on infrared, but not really anywhere else. Alright, let's see if there's anything else. Alright. Let's take a look at this compared to an hour ago, or at least like 30 minutes ago. I don't know, hard to tell. Look at all this right down here. Dang, okay, now we can't see anything, really. This should have gotten the worst of it already. Oh my god, is that really making a turn to the south-southeast? It looks like it. A little hint of it. I mean, the whole entire country of Taiwan or island is just getting getting impacts from it, just from its sheer size. And something's happening here. Let me take a look at that. An area of more convection. Interesting. Let's take a look if it's on here. A new convective burst, possibly. Okay, it was very brief. I don't know if you can see it. It's going to be right over here-ish. There it is. Not a lot. It's definitely not as much as what happened down here. These thunderstorms. Alright, so it does look like it's down to 120 knots. At this point, 140 miles an hour and around a pressure of 927 millibars. So, I mean, it's continuing to weaken. And just taking a look at stuff off screen. Alright. It looks like it's almost going south-southeast. It's mainly unknown at this point. I don't know if I'm able to add another text or something. Just add a dash. Nope. Never mind, okay. Let me delete that. Okay, let me just add something here. There we go. And honestly, we don't know how long until landfall. Hopefully that looks good. Alright. New frame just came out. Okay, so it's still going due south, looks like. I'm just taking a look at some posts on it. Yeah, I mean the mountains are what's causing the southward jog. Just take a look at something real quick. I'm gonna try and pull up something off stream. La Mesa Dam overspills. I don't know if it's this one right over here. Keelung River? No, that's a different river. Alright. What the heck? Okay. Alright, let me go back. Alright. That's right, just taking a look at stuff. Alright. Dang it, okay. Um, 21s, mountains. Um, just going more south. The model has forecasted. Yes. Let me see. It has. Let's see. Sorry. Let me see if I can do that. Alright, hold on. Alright, let me tag some people real quick. Hold on. Let me actually test something out real quick. Alright, let's take a look. I mean, honestly, I don't know what it's doing right now, is if it's gonna go back to the... Yeah, it's kind of moving south-southeast, so it might try and do a loop. It definitely has to go west, eventually. I mean, the steering currents right now are just pushing it that way. I mean, it has to move westward, but I mean, the mountains are just acting like a wall, and it just doesn't want to budge. And also, it just needs to go south. I mean, probably just the steering currents are rushing that way and then getting kind of looped aroundish. But I mean, just it definitely, I mean, it's stronger than Taiwan, so it needs to make landfall. It's just we don't know if it's gonna be pushed yet. It's taking its sweet time. Alright, let me see if I can grab something. And let me see. Just taking a look at the post. Alright, I'm just looking up something. Man, look at all that water just rushing down. Alright. I mean, there's got to be a lot of Taiwan storm chasers I haven't seen. Alright, let me go back. I'm just looking at something off screen. Alright, let me just take another look at something off screen. Good. Hold on, I'm just taking a look at something. Alright, let's go back to this. Okay, I think I can show it to all the radar imagery on it, a better loop. Don't think I'll get copyright struck for it. Alright, here it is. This is a good website, Force 13. There's a loop on it. Right now, over the past couple of hours, you can see that southward jog. It's pretty obvious. This was not expected at all, just for you who are just turning in or tuning in. This shouldn't have happened, just a big thing. It's curved a lot more south. It was supposed to make landfall right here, and then just decided to jog to the south because of the mountains of Taiwan. Pretty bad situation because it might try and do a loop, and hopefully this will help weaken it though. I mean, the longer it's, I mean, it is weakening no matter what. It's right along the coast, so I mean, it's the mountains are tearing it apart. So just, I mean, it may not even make landfall as a Category 4 if it stalls long enough. That's the that's the goal. I mean, currently it's still around 140 miles per hour. Ish. I mean, it still is a mid-range Cat 4 at this time. Oh man, okay, yeah, you can kind of see the eye a little bit more on infrared. It's just that the whole entire cloud tops are all warming, so that's mainly the reason why the quote-unquote high on infrared is warming as well. Let's take a look at that as well on here. Yep, there it is. You're not really getting any new convection, so I mean everything's just waning. From before we had a lot of pinks, now we don't really have any. It's mostly just scattered areas of white. Alright, let's see if we can take a look at anything else on here. That's precipitable water, not a lot of useful information on it. Here's a little bit of wind shear. Of course, the storm causes its own wind shear, but not really getting any shear. It's mostly just land interaction that's weakening it. Alright, so let me correct that mic. Okay. This has been roughly the precipitation over the past hour from Gaemi. For whatever reason, this is not working properly. This was from a while ago. Okay. Okay, so let's see if there's any good surface observations on it. Probably not. Oh, we got 973 millibars way away from the center. Oh yeah, also the center is over here, not exactly where that black thing is noted. Anyways, let's go back to the radar. My bad, wrong storm. Here it is. Oh, there it goes, continuing to churn southward. And this has been frustrating. I have not noticed anything moving to the east, so that's something. So, I mean, the Riley's prediction of it making landfall somewhere over here it didn't really do it, so I mean, I don't think, I mean, of course it's gotta make a landfall at some point. It's not gonna just go all the way down to the south and just miss Taiwan. It's probably gonna get tugged back north. Yeah, ish, kind of. Looks like it's doing that. And then it'll start maybe moving northwestward. It's kind of weird. Okay, it's like impossible to see this right now, just from all the rain. Yeah, I can see it on the left-ish. This is just all water rushing into a, whatever it's called, the, oh man, it doesn't have it in any, oh yeah, flood diversion. Okay. Oh my god, the eye wall is just barely touching land. Man, I can't. Okay, let me figure out what this says. Man, okay. And there's the southward jog at the end. There we go. Yep, it looks like it went south-southeast briefly. Yeah, so that means it's gonna try and do a loop. Ugh, okay. Yep. Yeah, okay. It's moving. Made a brief jog to the east. Very faint, hard to notice. Yeah, it's made a slight hook to the northeast if you look right over here. Yeah, so I mean that should make it move towards land. I have seen some people say that, this could have been a Category 5 at peak. I disagree. I mean, of course, I mean, Dvorak estimates, our satellite estimates showed nothing of that. Of course, it was just radar. That was really the only thing that's barely confirmed it. So, I mean, I don't exactly trust it all that much. I feel like a 135 knot, 155 mile an hour peak, close to it, borderline kind of situation. Of course, right now it's weakened a lot more, around 120 knots, 140 miles per hour. Alright, let me just post something on Twitter or on my Discord. Alright, there we go. So it's going to try and do a loop, of course. It's just all the geography of Taiwan that's causing it. The good thing though is that it is weakening. So I mean, once again, like I said, the longer it stays offshore, the better case scenario for when it does move inland into Taiwan. You notice that the eye has been a lot less clear, and it's more into the greens instead of the blues. Of course, the western part of the eye wall is not looking too good. Completely opened up a bit in terms of with the reds, but as you can see, it has a good amount of orange all around the storm. Alright, but yeah, with this curvature, when it starts moving more north, we'll know when it's going to make landfall. Right now, we have no idea. Latest Taiwan thing wanted it to keep going south. We'll see. Alright. Oh, there we go. Now we can see more of the dam thing. Of course, it's just a lot of rain falling everywhere throughout the storm, throughout Taiwan. Alright. Yeah, so no model has predicted this. Hopefully, when it initializes at 12Z, things will not. I mean, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center forecast will be very interesting when they update it. I mean, it's completely missed the cone of uncertainty, so people who were preparing it aren't getting much, and people who haven't prepared are getting the worst of it. Problem is that this is probably going to go towards Quanzhou in China, very populated area. Good thing about this storm is that this missed the populated area of Taiwan. Alright, but yeah, we will be doing another stream when it does eventually hit China. Likely be Thursday early morning. Or their time, I believe it'd be Thursday nights. I think so. I don't know. It'd be nights. Now I don't know what nights. Yeah, I mean, I should have an animation on it on Sunday, of course. And the eye continues to become more greenish instead of blue. the southwestern part and whole western side of the eye wall looks a lot weaker. Yeah, I mean, it has moved away from shore. It's moving east at this point. So yeah, someone asked, what is the pressure of its, um, let me see, where was it posted? Oh, for 12Z, 929 millibars. Okay, so now it's likely 130 miles per hour. Oh, so it seems like a lot of typhoons have done this kind of loop before. Here, I'll show you all a graph that shows storms that have done it before in the past. So this is a rough graph of it. I don't know who made it. But as you can see, a lot of storms have made loops when they've moved towards Taiwan. Hmm. It'll be interesting to see where this loop actually takes it. If it will take it towards its original landfall or what. I don't think it will make it all the way up here. Alright. Let's see, that one looks interesting. Typhoon Haitang, 2005. Probably won't show it properly here. Oh no, it does, okay. Ish. Let me see if I can find the loop or whatnot. This one doesn't really talk about it that much. This storm is probably the most similar to what the system will do-ish. Kind of, a little bit weaker. I like this graphic shows that a lot of storms have done it. Yeah, okay, yeah, so most of the, mainly the eastern part especially, of Taiwan is getting the heaviest rainfall at this point, and part of south central. So yeah, now it's moving eastwards, so now we don't know when it's going to make landfall. There's no models that will show us this, so curious if Typhoon Koinu did anything like this. That was another storm. That was the last one, I believe. No, it never did any of that. I forget how south that was. You see Typhoon Haikui. Kind of, not really. That was Haikui of last year, okay. Nah, it didn't do a loop at all. Alright. Wow, okay, yep. This is pulling off a loop, trying to at least. It's moving away from land. Alright, somehow there's a 960 millibar observation. I mean, they have this, but that's about it. Of course, the ship observations far away are getting strong winds. 56 mile per hour gust, 47 mile an hour, 52 miles per hour, 41 miles per hour. Surprisingly, this is only 25. It's definitely not accurate. Alright. I honestly don't have any more really to say about it. It is, of course, doing a loop. That appears likely. If it's moving eastwards, that means it's going to do a loop to the north and then northwest. Yep, there's the pull back to the east. Alright. I don't think the eye is warming at all, so let's take a look at that. Yeah, no, not really. The whole entire storm temperature is kind of on a warming trend. There isn't really any new convective burst, unless there's a little one down here, but that's about it, so. Of course, the only convective burst in the whole entire storm is really going to be these thunderstorms to the southwest. But that's not a part of the center, so it doesn't really matter. Of course, there was this over here. But then that died down. Okay, so there's an orange typhoon warning somewhere on the roughly in parts of China. I don't know how bad that is, but I mean, of course, a typhoon warning would be needed. Alright, let me see if there's anything posted on this. Alright. So yeah, as I was saying though, a lot of storms have done this in the past, making loops. And they're just very powerful coming into Taiwan, and then they just want to be bounced off. Still weird. And the latest frames is just stalling. So I'm gonna take a look at that 8 a.m. unofficial update. It's probably still a Cat 4 at this point. Might be down to a high-end Cat 3. It may make landfall, I believe, as a high-end Cat 3 at this point. I mean, it's just going to continue to weaken. Still don't know how long it's going to take until it makes landfall. It's just stalling at this point. It's not moving anywhere. And it should have to complete a loop. Otherwise it's gonna make landfall even take even longer moving to the west. Let's take a look at this storm. Typhoon Sarah, 1989. Yeah, this storm was able to pull off a loop. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell what it's doing at this point. Alright, so within the next 6 minutes, we should get an unofficial update. Maybe, I don't know if they're gonna do it. I think they will. Anyways, here's the latest radar showing it doing that loop kind of at the end. This one is like the last 5 hours, I think. This is Taiwan's radar. Alright. This is just still frustrating. New radar frame is about to come out. Yep, there's its turn to the south-southeast. I mean, newest frame looks like it's going due south, though, so it's hard to tell. Alright, let me just take a look, see if it's been posted. Nope, not yet. It's not out yet. Right. Yeah, it's probably because it's going to be a full advisory. Alright, let's take a look at some live cameras. This compared to an hour ago, or let's go 30 minutes ago. Not too much of a difference, I don't think. This one just. Oh, no, there's power still on. Okay. This one's still getting a lot of water piling up. Things have significantly calmed down. Same with over here, and then over here as well. Yeah, I don't think this area really had it bad at all. So yeah, the southwestern part of the eye wall is just completely torn up. Okay, they said within the next 30 minutes, so that's gonna be a little bit too long, I think. Probably gonna stop the stream now, I think. Let me just take a look. Yep. So, there will likely be another stream around the time it makes landfall in China, near Quanzhou, seems like. And that would be roughly around Thursday, early morning, 2 a.m. That'd be around 2 p.m. for them, I believe. And so it will make landfall somewhere in Fujian. I believe that's the province, yep. So we'll see when it eventually makes landfall. We'll have a Twitter post as well on whenever Gaemi actually makes landfall on Taiwan. It will take a while though. So yeah, since there's no really set landfall time, probably gonna go get some sleep now. Honestly. All right, I'll see you all later. Stay safe. Bye.